Hi everybody. So I'd like to talk today about the pedals on the piano. A lot of people know what some of them do, but not what all of them do. So we're going to check that out. So first of all, the pedal on the right is called the damper pedal. That one, in a grand piano, these pieces here are called the dampers. You can see that they rest against the strings, and when I play a note, you notice that the damper lifts off of the strings, allowing the strings of that note to vibrate, and then when I let go, the damper goes back down to rest against the strings and stops the sound. So we can get short notes or longer notes depending on how long we hold the key down. Sometimes you want the entire piano to sustain, so that's where the right pedal or the damper pedal comes in. If I press the damper pedal, you notice that all of the dampers lift off of the strings, which means that any notes that I play while that pedal is depressed will continue to sustain until I let go of the damper pedal and the dampers go down and stop the vibration of the strings. So that's the damper pedal. Let's go to the left pedal. That's one that people get a little confused about because it looks weird when you use the pedal. Watch what happens. I don't know if you can see it well in the video, but the keyboard actually shifts to the right a little bit when I depress the left pedal. That pedal is called the una corda pedal. A lot of people call it a soft pedal, but it's not a soft pedal. It's an una corda pedal. And una means one, corda means string. So what happens when the keys shift to the left, it's actually not just the keys. If you watch the hammers down in here, the hammers also shift when you use the pedal. And that's exactly the point of the una corda pedal, is that the hammer shifts so that normally you can see that as that hammer goes up to hit the strings, it's hitting 3 strings at a time. That's without using the pedal. There are 3 strings on each note in this section of the piano. However, when I use the shift pedal, the hammer shifts so that it is only hitting 2 of the 3 strings, leaving 1 string or una corda out of the mixture. So, yes, it can soften the sound because there are only 2 strings sounding instead of 3 with use of the una corda pedal. But more importantly, the 2 strings that are being struck by the hammer are striking the hammer in a different area of the hammer surface, and as a result, the felt in that area is less dense because it's not been compacted by constantly hitting the strings in rest position. So if the piano is voiced properly, not only will the piano sound softer using the una corda pedal, but it will change the tone quality or timbre of the sound as well, because the hammers are hitting in a different spot on the strings. So that's the una corda pedal. The middle pedal on a grand piano, or at least on a good quality grand piano, is called a sostenuto pedal. That's a very special function related to the damper pedal. In some pieces, we don't want, remember when you use the damper pedal, it lists all the dampers, and so anything that we play while that pedal is depressed will sustain. Doesn't sound very good, right? When we play notes that don't fit in a chord. Some pieces of music will call for the use of the sostenuto. What the sostenuto does, unlike the damper pedal, which lifts all of the dampers, remember when I said that when you play a note it lifts just that damper? If I then use, after playing the note, I'm going to back up here so you can see, you won't see the hammer so much, but you'll see the key. So I'm going to play this note, and of course the damper is lifted so the note continues to sound. Now, if I play that note and while I'm holding the key down with my finger, I depress the sostenuto, that damper will stay up, and so the note will continue to play, but only that note. If I play, there's the one that's sustained, I can play other notes and they will not sustain when I have the sostenuto pedal depressed. So how does that help? Well, let's say I play a chord that I want to be sustained, and then I want to have other short notes play on top of it. I couldn't do that with the damper pedal because it sustains everything. So if I go sustain this chord and I want to play short notes, it doesn't matter how quickly I hit the note, they'll continue to sustain because I'm holding the sustain pedal. But if I hold the sostenuto pedal instead, I play the chord, push the sostenuto pedal, and then I can play short notes on top of the sustained chord. It's kind of a specialized function and it's not used all that frequently, but when it is, it's a really cool effect. So that's what the 3 pedals do on a grand piano.